Hi, and welcome to Affinity for Planner Creators. Today we're talking about the power of tables, and tables are the most go-to tool that I use for creating planners. You can do straight lines, you can do calendars, you can do grids, but right now let's just talk about a basic calendar. So let's go over here and we're going to go to our calendar tool, our table tool. And I'm not going to make this any particular size. I'm going to make it about like that. And then I'm going to drag this outside circle so that it keeps it proportional, but it makes it bigger. So it still looks proportional. If you move this one on the inside, you can move it both directions, but we don't want to do that. So that's at this time. So that's why I just made it bigger so we can see it as we're working on it. Now, if you will click off of that and click onto your move tool, click off of the table and then just click once on any line of the table. And it gives you the four corners, the four in the middles going up and down, and then this extra one. And this is where it's going to allow you to add your font to your table. So I'm going to leave it at Cute Oscars. That's my favorite font. And we're going to take this down to a 30 just for this demonstration. And we're going to leave it aligned at the left-hand side and at the top. Now you can double click into a space and you can write, let's just write January. And we're going to give the next one the February, March, April. So if we were going to work on this table and we wanted them to be we wanted the columns to be more narrow, what you're going to do, and I'm going to scroll in here so you can see it better, is you're going to go in here to this line between A and B, between January and February, and you want this little line. It's one line with an arrow on each end. Now, sometimes when you're getting up here and you're trying to fool around, and I can't get it to do it today, but sometimes you will get two lines, one with an arrow going left, one with an arrow going right. That will skew the table. So there's not many places you would want to do that. So make sure it's one line with an arrow at each end, and you can just single click on it, hold it, and you can drag that column in where it's closer to February so that January and February are closer. Pardon my tongue tie. And then we can do the same thing between February and March, and we can bring it over to where it looks about right. We can do the same thing with March and April. It is hard to get that little line sometimes. And then this one is so small or so large, we drag it in. So when we zoom back out, we see that we have them very close together. Now, what you can do is click on A and scroll across the top. And then you can right click and tell it to evenly distribute the columns. So now we see we've got all four columns are the same width, but it's too small for January and February. So all we're going to do is take this right hand arrow in the center and we're going to drag it out until, so now these are still proportional. They're still all the same size, but we've got the whole word in the line. Now, having everything centered to the left and the top makes this look odd. So what we can do is highlight this row and we can go up and let's center it horizontally. And let's go ahead and center it vertically, which really won't change it since it's this big. But now your words are in the centers of your columns and you can go on out. If you want to go out, you click on your table till you get your ABCs on the top and your 1, 2, 3s on the side. And you'll see this little tab sticking out here with two little arrows, one going left, one going right. Click and hold and drag that out, and it will allow you to add as many columns as you want. So for this page, let's shrink this down a little bit. So I'm going to grab this outer circle so it maintains the sizing. And then we've got April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So type those in right quick. So as you see, we've come up with 3 more that are not quite right. So let's click on our A and drag all the way across our columns. Let's go back in here and let's drag this out until they all fit. So now they're kind of creeping off the side of the page. So go back to your move tool, and then we're going to center them. You see the green line going up and down all the way. That means that's exactly center. Oops, September is still needing some space here. Okay, what I'm going to do is we're going to click on here, and we're going to click on all of these. We're going to drag this out till we get September going in there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab this outer circle and we're going to drag it in. So it's going to make our font smaller. We started with a 30, so it's going to make our font smaller. But now we can set this, we can use our move tool and get it back into the middle of the page. Where's my green line? Okay, there is the middle of the page. So now you can add whatever else you want to these columns. But if these are too small, you can double click on your calendar, and you're happy with these. But these are too narrow. So you can highlight all of these and then go to your center circle on the bottom and drag these down, and that will make them wider or deeper. So now they have more space between the lines. And that's how you adjust the lines and the columns to make them to the right size. You can do this with any of the tables for anything. I just happen to use January through December, but you can use it for anything. If you want to start formatting your table in a different way, you don't want to see any lines. So double click, highlight either all of the rows or all of the columns, and come over here to your stroke and fill. And we don't want to see any of the horizontal lines. So we're going to come over here to all horizontal. We're going to click on that and it highlights it. And we're going to go down here to the stroke fill. And we're going to go to this white circle with the X through it. That just means it's going to take those away. No color, no nothing. Now if we click back off, all of our horizontal lines. Now you can still put in information here. I'm just typing random keys on the keyboard. And the lines won't show, but they will be perfectly aligned the way you have them set. Now, I recommend that you leave all of your lines when you're first starting out. So I'm just going to go here to all the lines, which is the box around it and up and down. And I'm going to make sure and give it I'm going to go to swatches. And there'll always be a line here of black, gray, and white. So I'm going to give them all a black color. So put all of your information in your table. And then if you want to take the lines or the row lines, the vertical lines, out. Do that after you have finished putting in all of your information. So I actually have one of those done. And what I did was I had created a Christmas party planner and it's a Christmas and a family party planner. And I created a table with 2 columns, and I centered everything and aligned everything where I wanted it. I put in all my information, and then I removed all of the lines. So now it just looks like a list, and it doesn't look like it's put into a table, and it just kind of gives it a crisp, clean look without having to line up every row of text and make sure it matches this side. So it's just lined it up. But if I go in here and I highlight A and B and I go to my table, if I hit these 4 lines, this up and down across and the 4 lines on the outside edge, and I tell it I want that to be gray, then we come over here and click off and it shows gray lines. Or if I wanted it to be just lines, then I would take out all the horizontal lines, and I would take that and use the negative stroke fill. So now you've got a line here, a line here, and a line here. So you can format these in any way you want. It's totally up to you. Like I said, for this particular page, when I created this planner, I did not want the lines showing. I just wanted it to show a pretty list. And so I took all of the lines out. Now this is a table. So if you click on it, you've got your A and B, and you've just got 1 row. And for the purpose of where I put this in a planner was in a place where you can rate things, rate your mood, 1 to 5 stars, rate the book you're reading, 1 to 5 stars, anything you'd want to rate in a 5-star rating. But then that just looks like it was put together with a table. So I also removed all 4 of that. So I highlighted both columns, and I went back over here to the all button, and I take all of this out. Now it looks like a perfectly centered row of text and the stars. And how I added the stars was I created the box. So we're going to just create a 2-row, 2-column, and we're going to stretch this out a little bit, and we're going to stretch this out a little bit. Not that much. And we're going to go in here with rating. Oops. And that is too big for that row. So we're going to shrink our font. To 20. And what we want to do is go in here and add a colon. Now that's going to leave a lot of space between here and where we put our stars. So I'm going to go up here to the space between it, and I'm going to drag this over. The next thing I'm going to go do is I'm going to go to my shape tool, and I'm going to go down to a star tool, and I'm going to create a star. And that looks like it ought to be about big enough. And then I'm going to hit Control J. Okay, we double click off of it, then hit Control J. And it copied it right on top of itself. And we want to keep them pretty close together. So I'm going to move it there and then Control J. And well, why isn't this working? I hit Shift J. Control J, that's 3, 4, 5. So now we have our 5 stars. So we're going to click off of them, and then we're going to click and drag to turn them all into a box. And then we can fit them up in here. Oh, let's center our text here. Let's center it to this middle, or no, we want it on left aligned and center vertical. There we go. And we've got our 5 lines in here. Now this is too big, so we will go in here to this line. We'll shrink that up. We will slide this back over. And there you have it. And if you want to make it bigger, go back to your Move tool. And you can make it bigger that way with the inside circle, or you can keep it proportional, which is what we want to do, and use the outside circle. And now it is roughly the same size. Still going to bring this in a little. There we go. Bring that in a little. So now we have it roughly the same size, but we want to highlight the whole thing, and we want to right click and we want to group. And when we group it, we need to look over here, and I know we haven't talked about layers, but that's another lesson all in itself. But the word group that's highlighted here, you just want to click on that, and we're going to call it rating stars. So that way, when we're working on our planner and we've got several things on the page, if we need to move this over, now it's all one thing. But the last thing I want to do is I want to come in here and I want to highlight A and B. I want to go to table and I want to take out all the lines, go in both directions. And then we're going to click off here. So now it looks roughly like this one. These were done at obviously 2 different times, so they're a little different. But now when I click on it, it's just one tool or one box. It moves. And you can always go in and change the sizes of these or change the size of the text. We could drop it down to an 18 or 24 works. I didn't use all caps here. I did all caps here, but they're roughly the same size. So that shows you how to take tables and remove the lines and shrink them or enlarge them however you want them. And if you've got any other questions about tables that I haven't covered in the other videos, let me know and I will make one specifically for that. The links to all the different, this is a series I'm doing on tables. So all of the videos will be linked in the description. So if you haven't seen one and you want to, they're going to be all right there for your convenience. So if you've got any questions or comments, drop them in below in the comment section and let me know what you think. And if there's anything, even if it's not tables, if there's anything you want to see a video on, let me know. And I will see you in the next video.